Steve, Andy, how's your Tuesday treating you?
All right, thanks, Scott. Hey, everybody. Hello, Andy.
Hey, Steve. Hi, Scott. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, long time no see. We had a test drive a couple weeks ago, and we don't do our afternoon webinars during test drives, and we had the off week on our afternoon webinars, so it's been a few weeks. So howdy, David. Howdy, everybody. Certainly got a few things we can talk about and go over for the Trade of the Week webinar, and we shall do so. Just a reminder that Andy and I have our own accounts. We trade our own accounts. We're also employees of Trade Ideas, and we're going to showcase some Trade Ideas stuff to you. But the opinions of stock market and price action and direction and all that stuff is our opinion only. It's not to be taken as financial advice. If you need financial advice, you got to seek out the people who hold the brokerage licenses and take lots of people to lunch to try and manage their money. All right, so we got that out of the way. If you're not in Barry's live trading room and you're a new user and you don't know about it, well, let me dial you in. This is a great live trading room. He doesn't like us to call it a chat room. Barry does a wonderful job of demonstrating his ability as a very active day trader and how he uses Trade Ideas platform to accompany him. And it's a free service, like I said numerous times, because there are people, I bet you, out there paying 50, 60, 75 bucks a month for a community to join out there that is as good as Barry has. And so if you're not in there, you should be in there, because it's the best place to ask questions, especially about the program. And we understand that new users might be a little bit intimidated at first by the complexity of Trade Ideas, and we're here to help. Barry's the #1 stop for help every weekday during the week, Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern. We give Barry a break, and one of the trader guys here at Trade Ideas will take over and talk at you and give you any support you need, talk about the markets, what we see, just kind of give everybody a different set of eyeballs each day. So then Barry comes back online and takes it over. We also have, and it's my fault for probably not updating the slide, is we also have now an afternoon session, a 3:30 session, which literally is the same URL, the same YouTube channel, the same live broadcast that Barry uses on our live stream at YouTube. Chris Varley will now come in, and has been coming in at 3:30 Eastern all the way into 4:30 Eastern. And it's been very helpful, because we've been able to send a lot of people to him in support that have questions, that need visuals and more context, and Chris can speak at you and give you a much better look at support. So don't forget the 3:30 afternoon webinar, and I'll try and remember to update that slide for you guys next time. Here's just a reminder of how you get to that link, whether it's Chris or Barry. trade-ideas.com/live will redirect you to the YouTube channel. And the nice thing is, once you've watched it a few times, YouTube will always present that to you on your dashboard if you're logged in, thinking that you're going to want to watch it again. So it'll always be prominent front and center for you. All right, like I said, it's been a few weeks, but we got to remind you all that the theme here is no man or human is better than a machine, and no machine is better than a man. Together, they are the symbiotic relationship, and that really does come into play a lot of times when we talk about the AI Holly. AI Holly is a much better idea generator in real time, but the human being is a much better trade manager of that idea. So it's a good, again, symbiotic relationship, and the AI Holly and the human interaction is probably the best example of that. Caps to go through, and then I'm going to show you and talk about Easter eggs and what those are and how you might want to track them, because, well, we'll get into that. But first, we'll start with I'll go that bottoming tail, really doing averages, and it was only one day later that we shot back up. No surprise that we found resistance at the 50. Couple of days above the 50 gave us confirmation around the market was dead serious about getting back to all-time high. Like the Fed, when we get into the trade of the weeks, I will remind people that just because the S&P is on high, but we are entering the season. All right, let's see. Nothing really else other than that. Anything you want to comment on the general market out there, Andy?
No, I's in queue a month or so.
And you'll be good to go. But yeah, there's all right, Andy, if you want to take it over, back when you're done.
I'll do that. Gap up, not much at all though. And Holly, for some reason, she did have nice gains. Like I said, it's not reflecting that so much on the stop. And if you have a was nice. I mean, the daily, not much to look at right there, although you did have a nice little green dollar. When this, a lot of people use when you're called it at 34. No, it doesn't look that ETE, and I could see what they were trying there after that push higher, and toward it didn't break below that.
We've had a lot of trade. And sometimes Saturdays are a different approach this week, which heard me talk a lot about how this moving average usually catches stocks. Again, this is Cleveland Cliffs coming off of earnings, very nice earnings, where we would expect the 10 SMA, red 20 SMA, that's going to be our out. So really, this is just our little risk slice of it. Let's look at the trade. You can see I put it out there, and that's right for an approach this week. We're only 90 cents out of the money or so, 80 cents out of the money at the close. Let's do something like this, but I am disconcerted. I'm disheartened that I see a lot. Before I look at the others, I just want you to get a lot pulled through.
Line, Steve, from that low on 10-1. I bet you're gonna hopefully
you're in today's that after a nice reversal off of 2306 or so. The line might be there. But LF, we went with an ETF. This candle right there, a walk in the park, like hold them upside down, try to shake the coins out of their pockets, and then you see we did have a nice move eventually. So that one did work, and it's actually those examples I was talking about are now closed below the RS. They just spike on level trades, which I'm going to show. Picking is key right now. That's are going to highs out there. No problem, Richard. Try to use trade ideas to shy low. This is I'm going to bring up again. It's getting to where related, or should I call pretty much back here? Okay, it doesn't work for the trade of the week. So worth our while on each of them. And here's what you do. You just build a simple, and I only want new low. I'm going to enable both of those. The trick now comes into symbol list. We're going to create a symbol list, and we're going to call it Easter eggs. Oh, I didn't save that, did I? I'm so silly. There we go. Okay. Okay, there's our alert. We're all set in stone, but it's going to give us everything under the moon, making highs and lows, and we don't want that. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to go over here to the tools, options, symbol list. For people watching this on recording, you can email us and I can give you these symbols tomorrow. But for now, everybody that wants to mirror what I'm doing here, you're going to have to do this step yourself. You're going to have to create a new list. I'm going to call it Easter eggs. The also rans, the short list, the could have beens, the would have beens. Okay, simulated with a few. All right, so yeah, we got RF, we got HBAN, we got Zion. Okay, we got a couple of those going. And by the way, just for my own edification, that week, this is what RF did since then, just trending higher since then. HBAN but did well, but then fell back into the zone, Zion. So all these things, they did give us a little bit of alpha for a little while, but Mara was the big regret that week. All right, so let me just double check again, make sure we've got all of those in there. Tools, symbol list, Easter eggs. All right, okay, so there's day one. The second one looks like it was, GLNG and Riot. This day, I also wanted to call Riot really badly, but I didn't. We called REI instead, and Riot gave us a nice, this was basically the move that Riot would have given us in the trade of the week there. So I'm showing you this so you don't lose track of some of these other also ran names. All right, so we got GLNG and Riot in there. That was from the following week. We're gonna have to add some more names here. This week we've got, all right, let's just go ahead and start. We got CVE, we've got Clean. And by the way, Clean Energy was the one I was really thinking about doing, but we did Box instead. And of course, CLNE had a good couple days. So by doing this, in the future, when you guys get these emails, you're not going to miss anything that might have made a new high or new low for that matter, okay? One more, last one, and this is this week, and we're going to talk a little bit about MindMed here for a second. So let's just finish off this symbol list. Easter eggs, we're going to add MindMed, we're going to add FUV, Pfizer, Solo, and MCMJ, which did not do well. It's a SPAC. But let me show you something. Just on those names alone, this particular week. let's see how they did. MindMed was the one that I was wrestling with this week. And of course, wouldn't you know it, MindMed was the one that took off. CLF didn't, but you would have had it in your mix. I'm trying to help you guys put some ideas in your wheelhouse, for free. You don't even have to subscribe. You get the trade of the week. FUV was a one I was wrestling with. Look at those days or the last couple of days. A lot of the Pfizer. I mean, I literally thought about calling Pfizer. I know they got their booster coming out, and the chart was setting up, and it did okay as soon as it feels like coming up here. Come on, Pfizer. Oh, it looks like it froze on me for a second. But as long as you guys have these lists, and I'm showing you how to create a symbol list to follow along, come on. Wow, this thing is really, really freezing badly on me. Okay, Pfizer, really good day. However, Pfizer had earnings, so that would have kept us from calling that. All right, so now that we've got all these names in here, what did Solo do? Solo had a pretty good day too. Yeah, Solo had a couple of good days as well. So a lot of good ideas in here. It's just timing it right and making it the official trade of the week is what makes it hard. So you can go to history just for today. So if you've had this thing running today with all these names in here, you would have seen some interesting ideas. Oops, sorry, check that. We got to point it towards add existing list, Easter eggs. Looks like there's 2 of them. I don't know which one I got. I'll add them both just to make sure I got them all. Okay. And there we will get the history. So today, if you came into today with all these ideas in there, you got all these ideas just coming at you, new highs. And these were ideas that, I thought at one time might be something worth calling, but didn't call it. But trying to figure out a way to kind of slip it in there so you guys can have some extra value. Our RC didn't have a good day today, but at least we know about it. But it did have a nice breakout back there. So if there's any questions on that, let me know. And again, if you're watching, give you the steps to create a new list. Those also have an interesting little watch list every single week. You can update it. Eventually they might start to die out, but as long as you got 2 or 3 weeks worth of past calls in here, and you're just using a high-low ticker, I think there's going to be some good ideas for you. I mean, basing on the regret that I've been going through the last few weeks for not calling this when I called that, or not calling that when I called this, I think there's value in here for you. So I meant to, yeah.
Maybe you could give them a nice head start and drop your symbol list into the chat, and so they can maybe copy that.
You can do that.
I'd like to do that myself. Yeah.
We'll do that. So I'll go to symbol list. We've got Easter eggs, 18 of them. Now, again, I would probably keep these in there for maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks at the most. It's probably going to start to get stale after a while. Okay, so I'm going to drop that into the chat. Symbol list. I'm just going to call it symbol list of Easter eggs. And paste. All right.
There you go.
And again, you guys, I shouldn't have to share the cloud link to the scan because it's nothing more than just a new high and a new low. There are no filters. We don't want any filters. We just want to see symbols making new high, new low that we want to monitor. And that's it. Simple as that. Do away with trade of the week and just make it stocks to watch. Yeah, Vincent, probably a good idea, but I don't know if I can get that one, passed. That's why I'm really spending some time here to point you guys that just read the headline and then close the email. You're missing a little bit down there. There might be some more fun stuff you might want to check out. Yeah, David Box is very annoying. It starts off strong and then just does nothing. All right, I want to pivot to something here real quick. And somebody might have wondered and noticed when I was, MindMed. Why were you watching MindMed, Steve? What's going on over there? Why did you like that? Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I gotta get my bearings. There we go. On this day right here, I was watching it. It's a stock that I watch, and I thought, boy, it would really be nice if it could really just hold these little moving averages right here and then make an assault above the 50, but it didn't. It went lower. And it brought up the query to me, little history. When I first started trading in 1995, I had a $5,000 account with Lind Waldock, a commodity and futures broker in Chicago, and I was in San Diego working off 15-minute delayed prices. Unless somebody we knew was visiting us with a live Quotrek, which was the original e-signal. It used to pull live data off the FM signals. We would run around. Brad was with me back then, and we would fight for it. My go-to trade, because I made one of my first trades was a great trade, and I got addicted, and I loved the setup. It's called RSI Divergence. Some of you might know what it is. The way I did it was an RSI divergence on a short sell. It was like cocoa or sugar or live hogs, I can't remember, but it was trending higher and it was running out of steam, and the RSI was showing me it was running out of steam, and I shorted that, and it broke, and I had a nice windfall, and I was addicted. And ever since then, I've known what RSI divergence is. Well, we've been playing around with it a little bit. Let me bring it on and introduce it here. If we bring on RSI, I want to show you something. Okay, now we're back to where we are at this back here, right about there. Notice that the price action, of MindMed was kind of trending down, except for this one right here. It was starting to trend up a little bit. But from here all the way back on our RSI, the lowest low of the RSI when we met the new low in price was actually a higher low in the RSI, and then even a higher still. So the RSI can sometimes be a nice mechanism to show us the oomph behind the move. Is something basing and beginning to make, that's what the positive RSI divergence would look like. Well, I caught that, and I went ahead and I bought MindMed on this day right here. And I got lucky. I don't get lucky often, but I got lucky. This thing just exploded after I bought it, thankfully. Closed above the 50, which is always what I want to see on these charts. Another day, which was Friday, closed above the 50. I put it on my short list. Let's consider calling this maybe for the trade of the week. And if it's not the trade of the week, hopefully they'll see it down there and keep it on their radar. But more importantly, RSI divergence is a very interesting tool. And this is the bullish version, okay? So it kind of helps tell us when maybe the sell pressure is running out and a bottoming base maybe really is indeed a bottoming base. So that was one that I really just kind of came up with on my own because this stock is in my wheelhouse. I like this stock. I like what they do. And I noticed the RSI divergence, and I bought some in my my swing account. So what I'm gonna do, turn this off now because I don't like to use it all the time. I'm gonna show you guys a new feature that we have. And by the way, this new feature is only on our beta version. It's called the Market Explorer. Maybe some of you have heard Michael Noss talking about it, the Market Explorer. If you have the beta version and you come over to new, you're going to have an option in the menu under E, Market Explorer, TIQ, it's TI Quant. It's essentially what the RBI, red bar ignore, and green bar ignore were built on. It's kind of a standalone platform. It's advanced math, and it's not very user-friendly unless you're Michael Noss, who has the keys to it now. So I'm going to open this thing called Market Explorer, and there's nothing in there. But what this is a daily pre-configure. There's no configuring. Just like the RBIs and GBIs, you do no configuring on these. You right-click and go to the menu. And we've been kind of slowly giving Michael ideas for him to code and figure out what the settings would be to try and bring up some more complex type of daily chart patterns. And so let's go here. Server window. These are actually 6 different scans. I'm not going to go into all of them. We'll save that for another day, but you can see we've got daily RSI divergence long and divergence short. That was the one I made all that money on in trading commodities when things were running out of steam, and then they would just kind of fall out of the air and break their trend and give us a nice break. But that was more, commodities and futures related. We don't really see a lot of that right now in the stock market because there's no fear in this market. But if we go to daily RSI divergence long, all of a sudden, look at that. You're populated with a bunch of ideas. And that probably was silly for me to turn off my RSI because we need to show examples. So I'm going to turn it back on. We'll turn RSI back on. Now, Michael wanted me to let you guys know this is still a work in progress. It's in the beta. There's been some issues with some low volume stocks sneaking in here. So they're working on the average daily volume. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to maybe find a couple of interesting ones. Now, these are ugly charts on their surface in terms of price action. But what we're looking for is to see how the RSI is trending versus how the price is trending. And if we get an opposite move in RSI, that's what we call RSI divergence. I'm going to click on ATR here. I'm going to try and find some good examples for you. Let's see. I mean, I remember a lot of, okay, there's
That one's working
right here. This one's working. So staff, price-wise, doesn't look like it wants to go much below $1.71. And every time it does, here, 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 it's not showing up in the RSI. The RSI is saying, hey, there's a little bit of strength building in here, some momentum building. So at any point, especially if you have a lot of shorts in there, they might do what the MindMed did and give us a nice explosive move up. So you could take these ideas and not just pull them up and trade them. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you could pull them up and say, you know, maybe I might want to set a price alert here above these moving averages because this thing's showing me, you know, underpinnings of a possible bullish divergence. Am I making sense, you think, Andy?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Let's see, that was staff. What's dog look like? Well, technically it's going to lows. The one that we just looked at are the ones I like, okay? The ones that are giving us a kind of a clear base with attempts to go lower. The ones that are trending lower, I don't like as much. Again, you know, technically that is an RSI divergence, but I would just go through here and look for ones that are, you know, trying to show some levels of base. That one was doing good a couple days ago until now. You know, technically, this one meets the definition. Price, lower price. RSI, higher RSI. Not by much, but it's there. So, you know, I'll just leave you guys with bringing up MindMed one more time. This is what caught my eye. Nice basing action. Didn't really seem like it wanted to go much below 220. And then when you see the RSI having higher lows here, that was some pent-up demand. I think that just was, there's no news. It was just kind of a technical, you know, the short said, okay, I guess that's it. That's all we're going to get. So this is a way going forward using this particular tool, the Market Explorer, that you guys can try to maybe identify, just out of curiosity. Let me see what maybe some of these shorts look like. Oh, clean energy. That's funny.
Yeah, I'm not so sure he's got it working properly.
Yeah, but here's what I do see. I see kind of that.
Yeah,
barely.
A little bit of that. Yeah, that's true.
A lot of these are going to be just technical. They literally are just absolutely technical. And I'm glad you brought that up, Richard, because I probably glossed over that. For anybody else that's not seeing the Market Explorer, here's what you're going to need to do. You're going to need to download the beta version. Because I believe if somebody has the beta version, maybe they can let me know. You go to download software, and there's the pro version, version 5532. This is the beta version, 5545. So this one is likely going to have the Market Explorer. So if you don't have that version, Richard, you can just download this one, and going forward, you'll be able to have in the new menu Market Explorer. And again, we're going to be building this list of ideas. Michael's TI strength alerts are actually in there, some bear flags and bull flag stuff, but still, remember, this is kind of a work in progress, and it is the beta version, so there's going to be some improvements being made to it. But I wanted to really kind of highlight that setup, what an RSI divergence is, whether it's for long or for short, and whether, you know, if it's worth, you know, something looking into. So technically, Ford made a nice new high, but it did so with just a little less effort in the RSI. Technically speaking, that's an RSI divergence, but there's no guarantees on these things. All right, so that is that. Let me turn that indicator off. That is really all I've got for you today. If there's any questions I need to hit over there yet, Andy, or?
No, I think we're pretty much on top. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Richard, the RSI just kind of gives us the strength of the current push behind the move. How much oomph, how much strength is behind the move? And what it looks at is high-low close. If you have a bunch of candles that have a nice range and they keep closing at highs, that's going to push the RSI up quickly. If you have a lot of candles that have a mid-range and they're closing into mid-range and they're maybe near the lows after pushing up, well, that's going to be a lower RSI. So it all kind of depends on the range of the candle and where the close was. So it starts to give us some underpinnings of possible weakness, or in the case of the bullish there with MindMed and the other one, possible indication that the buyers or the sellers are running out of help and steam, and they're going to maybe have to cover pretty soon to get out. There's no one right way to do all this, you guys. It's not a science. If it was a science, it is an art form. And if you're a newer trader, the first thing you need to figure out is what time frame do I want to play in? What sandbox do I want to play in? Do I want to be like Barry and in, out all day long after hours? Or do I want to be like Steve and Andy and just kind of take a position in CLF and just say, hey, that's my out down there. If it closes below today's range low, my swing trade is going to be an out and it's going to be a loss, but I have a plan and I'm going to manage it. So you really need to figure out what time frame you want to play in, what time frame you're comfortable in, and then just kind of devise your own method and your own artwork from there. Is there an equivalent review for strength alerts? Michael will be doing, I think, updates and webinars. So keep an eye out. I'm not sure if he's doing them monthly or quarterly, but he has done, I think, one so far. But yes, Michael will be the one who will go through and go back to strength alerts and kind of talk about them the way in which I'm doing here with the Trade of the Weeks. All right, well, I think that's all we got. If we missed your question, go ahead and send it into info@trade-ideas.com. Otherwise, we'll bring Scott in for any further announcements.
Hey, all right. Yeah, thank you. Before we leave, let's make sure everyone gets a copy of the My Strategy Indicators ebook that we launched not too long ago. Just go ahead and go to tradeideas.com/strategy, get that download. It's written by our Director of Software Development, Dave Mabe, who also you might be a fan of because he created Holly the AI, our backtesting module, the odds maker, and some other great features of our stuff. So go ahead and grab that ebook. We also have a discount code. Holly Rocks is good for 15% off your first month or year of a Trade Ideas subscription or an upgrade from standard to premium. So go ahead and take advantage of that before we change the code on you. And if you have any questions, go ahead and DM Steve on Twitter at TISTG or hit us up at @TradeIdeas. Email us at info@tradeideas.com. That goes to our help desk software, or like us on Facebook, facebook.com/TradeIdeasPro. The recording of this session will be up later on tonight or tomorrow, and you will get a reminder in your email inbox tomorrow with a link to the playlist where you can find it on our YouTube channel. So thanks, everyone. Have a great afternoon.
See you next time.
See everybody. See you on Thursday. Bye-bye.